Hello there, it's Mr. Rops here. We're going to do last podcast on solving rational equations. So when we have this scenario here, like the last discussion we had, we have to multiply through by the common denominator. Well, the common denominator in this case will be 4 times x plus 1 times 3x minus 1. So that's a big common denominator I got to go through. And each term has to be multiplied by it. So I'm going to multiply the first term by it, x plus 1, 3x minus 1 times x, and that is over x plus 1 minus, dreaded minus signs, be careful there, 4x plus 1 times 3x minus 1 times the x plus 1. And that's over 3x minus 1, which equals, I have to squeeze it down here, 1 or 4 times x plus 1 times 3x minus 1, 1 times the 1 over 4. And so at this point, again, we have to look for funny looking ones. And this whole factor here will cancel out with this factor. Do not cancel this x with this x. It has to be the whole entire factor. Here's a 1, 3x minus 1, and a 3x minus 1. And then 4 and 4. Keep on going. And so now I have lots of messy algebra to work through. And so I have the 4x into here times 3x. So I'm going to have, well, let's tidy it up. 4x times 3x minus 1 minus 4 times x plus 1 parenthesis x plus 1 equal to x plus 1 parenthesis 3x minus 1. And now you should pause it all the way through here and see if you can continue from this point on and see if you can come up with the answer. It's going to be messy, so just be patient with it. We'll keep on going here and be 12x squared minus 4x minus 4 times x squared plus x plus x plus 1, which equals 3x squared minus x plus 3x minus 1. Oh, that's a bit of a mess there. Let's have to be careful on that. I keep tidying up 12x squared minus 4x minus, now I have to distribute the negative sign. Be careful of this negative sign, of 4x squared. Now there's 2x times negative 4 is negative 8x minus 4 equals 3x squared. Now if we remember, this was negative x plus 3x, so that's plus 2x minus 1. Whew. Okay, so now we have to bring everything to one side of the equation. Well, let's tidy these up first. So on the left-hand side, I have 4x squared. No, I have 8x squared. Because 12x squared minus 4x squared is 8x squared. Minus 4x minus 8x is minus 12x minus 4 equal to 3x squared plus 2x minus 1. Alright, so keep on going. I'm going to bring everything to this side of the equation so that it equals 0. I want it to be equal to 0. So I have 8x squared minus 3x squared is a 5x squared. Minus 12, and then a minus 2 more is minus 14x. add 1 and I get minus 3. And this equals 0. So now at this point, I have two options to consider. I could try and factor this, or I can quadratic formula. And I'm looking to get 13, and so I can think, well, I might be able to get 15 and 1. I think this will factor fairly easily. So that's 5 and 1, 3 and 1. Here's 15. Here's 1. They'll subtract away to get 14. Oh, I think this works nicely. So I get 5x and x. Well, the 5x gets multiplied by 3, which is, I want that to be negative 15. And then this is 1, a plus 1, equal to 0. If this wouldn't factor nicely, and or if it was hard to find, I would have went to the quadratic formula and plugged those values into there. But now I can say 5x plus 1 equals 0, or x minus 3 is 0, so x equals 3, or 5x equals minus 1, x equals negative 1 over 5. And there's our solution. Now, we can also do this one graphically. Now, we have to be really careful with this one graphically because it's going to be a big mess. So let's take a look and see what we can do. I took the liberty to add these equations in. And when you do the top equation, let's actually go back to our equation and see what it says. When you do this top equation here, be careful to put things in parentheses. So I have x over x plus 1 minus x plus 1. Oh. And then divide by parentheses 3x minus 1. I have to be really careful with my parentheses. The bottom is 1/4. And when I graph this, I get that, which looks really messy to me. So let's change our window. A quick change of a window is number 4, and that just zooms in a little bit to see what's going on. All right, and so if I look at my window settings, that goes from -5 to +5. And so I'm looking at, here's one of my answers going to be here, and it looks like another answer is going to be around here somewhere. So to find those values, we're looking for the intersection. So here's my graph. We're looking for the intersection. So we're going to find intersections here and somewhere over here. Let's find this one first. So we go to our calculator. We're going to go to our calculate menu, and we're going to do number 5, intersect. First curve, second curve, and now guess. Well, if I look at this value here, it looks to be about a little bit smaller than 0. So let's say -0.2, a little bit less than 0. I hit enter, and I guessed the actual value. And I can take a look and see that there's my one answer, and it's 0.2. If I do the other one now, I'd go through the same second, calculate. I'm going to find the intersection, my first curve, now my guess. I know it's somewhere over here, or over here, so that's 1, 2, 3, about 4. Let's type 4, enter, and the actual answer is 3. And so if I look at my graph, I have two values. One is 3, and the other is 0.2. Now, when you do a graphical solution, you should make sure you put the graph on, all the graphs on, and label what you are finding. And that's the end of this one. This very involved. Be careful with your signs. Lots of chances for careless mistakes.